off of Terrell.
Jim talking to the great names of the Buffalo Bills that are still there. It has been tough to watch, Jim, as San Francisco gets ready to visit Buffalo today. The last couple of years to see these big names struggle through the end of their careers.
Well, they are struggling a little bit, but Bruce, Thurman, and Andre, they're still having some fun to a certain point. But one thing that they're lacking is team unity, and one thing that we can see, the togetherness that we once had as the Bills is no longer there. Take us back a few years back. What was it like?
It was like never before.
We were at Never Never Land.
Yeah, it was never before because I think back in those days when we were just winning ball games, we knew when we walked on that football field, we had the confidence that we were going to win games. And I think I wanted to outplay you. You wanted to outplay me. I wanted to outplay Andre. We all wanted to outplay each other. So it could be like, well, if I play good today and have a great game, I'm going to be the first one on that podium.
We had something special back then. Yeah. We knew every year coming back that it was going to be more special the year after that, regardless of what was going to happen. I mean, we knew that, shoot, the sky was the limit for us, man.
It made me want to work harder.
It sure did.
You know, because after every loss, you wanted to come back and say, man, how would it feel to win one? I think that's what just kept us going. I think everybody wanted that trip that Mr. Wilson kept promising us. If we won the Super Bowl, we can go anywhere in the world.
You know, thought about the Great Barrier Reef and going scuba diving.
Yeah, you know?
I thought about the party at my house after the game.
We would have a great time. We knew. We would talk about it. If the game was kind of getting out of hand in our favor, we would talk about going to your house after the game was over and just making an evening out of it. I mean, those are the things that brings a team together, that unity, that family cohesiveness. And right now, it's definitely lacking.
Everybody's looking at us three to try to keep us together, and we need people behind us, and we don't have that.
You have to be selfish in this game. You have to be able to say, I'm going to go out and get this job done. So that's where your I comes in team. I'm going to do whatever it takes to go out and make this team successful. I'm going to make this play on third down so we can get off the field. Call my play. And we don't have enough guys, again, that are making those type of plays. I think that it'll happen, but it's starting to happen a little too late.
Right now, the guys we have on the team, I don't think have that killer instinct, and we don't know how to win. Winning takes care of everything. When you win, that takes care of your pains, your aches and pains. And you want to come to work, and you want to, I mean, when we came back in the day, when we came to work, bro, it was, let's go. Now we come to work, we go, oh, man.
Right now, at worst case, we should be 2-1. We had a great chance of being 3-0, but because of one situation here or another situation there, we're faced with this horrible and horrendous record of 0-3, which I cannot live with. This will make me retire quicker than anything else I can think of on the face of the earth. A losing season.
Now that the careers are winding down.
Whose career?
Without doubt, yours. Maybe not in your eyes, but a lot of people that you play against's eyes. I've seen it.
You want to shake my hand?
Yeah, sick. But no, when you think of Hall of Fame, is that something you really look to in the future?
Oh, no doubt about it. Whoever goes in first, if that happens, I want to be there for all of us.
Well, whoever's going to go in first is the first person out of you three to retire. So it's a race to the finish line. Hey, I'm interviewing you guys. You can't talk to me about it.
Yes, we can.
1 year, I get 2 years.
You've been going that long?
I've been going that long.
You mean to tell me we haven't missed him that much?
You know you guys miss me more than you think.
You're right.
Yeah, we do.
I do.
Well, I wish you guys the best of luck this year, and if you can turn it around, there's one key ingredient to you guys turning around, is you three guys pulling those other guys up.
Thanks, Jim.
Best of luck, guys.
Thank you.
I miss you.
Miss you too, man.
You too, bro.
Well, one thing you can tell, when we brought up the good old days, they were smiling, they were having fun, both on and off the camera. I brought up guys' names like Ken Hall, Darryl Talley, Cornelius Bennett. That was when we had fun. But like I said before, it just doesn't seem like it's exactly all there for them.
Well, you mentioned those names along with Steve Tasker. You guys were the leaders of the Bills teams. How does a team with Andre, Thurman, and Bruce, guys who've been through every possible war in the glory days, how does that team lack leadership?
Well, Andre has never really been the type of leader. Andre's the type of player, he catches 6, 7 passes. That's how he leads. Bruce, he does a lot of talking. Everybody knows Bruce does his talking. He goes in a lot of players' one ear and right out the other. And, of course, Thurman, he doesn't feel comfortable with that situation now because he doesn't feel like this is his team anymore.
You're talking about leadership and production, and I noticed the guys didn't really say they missed you when you said you missed them. But you're talking about production. That's one thing the two coaches that Jim played for and Wade Phillips, they didn't have. Marv Levy wasn't a guy that everybody looked to as being that quote-unquote leader because the players like Jim and Bruce and Thurman, Ken Hall, those guys led by example, and they handled all the situations on the field and in the locker room. Wade Phillips, everybody knows what a wonderful guy to play for, but he's not a yell, scream, rah-rah, give you the speech that's going to get you to go out and walk through walls. Some of these guys, the younger guys, are going to have to look to these older guys that have been where they're trying to get. They're going to have to lean on them. And I think just like we asked Brett Favre to be a vocal leader, I think we're going to have to ask Thurman and Bruce and Andre to step it up a little bit.
You wonder if Marv Levy didn't see this whole thing kind of coming a little bit down the road. It was a great visit. We enjoyed watching that.
Thank you.
There is much more ahead, including the countdown to kickoff. A couple of things you need to know before you watch the early games, including Niners, Bills, Chargers, Colts, Jets, Dolphins, and the Saints and the Pats, among others.
I know you like music, so
Young has a tremendous arsenal of weapons. The explosive 49ers offense has had 8 different players score touchdowns through the air and on the ground, from relatively unknowns to a future Hall of Famer. Young has led them to the end zone and now into Buffalo. Beautiful Niagara Falls, the honeymoon capital, just 30 minutes north of Buffalo, where the 3-0 San Francisco 49ers visit the 0-3 Buffalo Bills in Orchard Park, New York. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Ray Bentley along with Ron Pitts, and I mentioned honeymoon, and it's been a honeymoon for Steve Young and Jerry Rice, a second honeymoon in these first 3 games.
I tell you what, I don't care what Steve says. He's playing great football, maybe the best football he's ever played. But the guy that's got a lot to do with it, number 80, Jerry Rice, he's back on the field. He brings that comfort zone, that comfort level to everyone, and he makes everybody better. Steve feels him out there. He gets his confidence back, and that's one reason this offense has exploded and done so well with the numbers they put up in the last 3 games.
One thing that might disrupt the comfort zone for the 49ers, left tackle Dave Fiore out for 8 to 10 weeks with a knee injury. That'll put Jamie Brown in the lineup, seeing his first live snaps all year.
That's right, the first live snap since last year when he was playing with the Denver Broncos, so nobody really knows what's going to happen with him at that left tackle. But Bruce Smith on the other side, he's coming back from that off-season knee injury. Nobody knows what's going to go on there. Watch this matchup, because if nothing more, this thing could turn into a tempo setter for both teams.
Time of possession for the Bills, they've averaged nearly 6 minutes more than their opponents. They're going to need to do that today to keep it out of that Niners offense's hands. And the guy in charge of that is Rob Johnson, the quarterback.
Right. You got to keep Young off the field. And then Rob Johnson, he's young. This is only his 5th start. And the thing he's been doing is he's been holding the football a lot, not making quick decisions. If they want to beat the 49ers, they got to have that ball control, sustain the drives, but they got to get big plays early. They got to assault them down the field on the perimeters and let them know that they can't line up in that 8-man front and slam them all day.
The Bills will be without Andre Reed, out with a separated shoulder, but they are 8-1 coming off of the bye week. We'll return to Orchard Park with the kickoff, the 49ers and the Bills, after this message from your local Fox station.
Awesome NFL know that CarQuest batteries perform each and every time. For sure starting power, CarQuest won't let you down. So for the best possible performance, install what the pros install. CarQuest. Welcome to the pros.
On the next episode of Seinfeld. I think if one's going to kill oneself, the least you could do is leave a note. It's common courtesy.
She wants you to like her.
Yes, she wants me to like her if she likes me, but she doesn't like me.
Is there anything else about you I should know?
Yes, I'm lactose intolerant. I have no patience for lactose. And I won't stand for it.
Tonight, following baseball on Fox 29.
Since Dodge Caravan's easy-out roller seats have wheels that pop down, reconfiguring the interior is an exercise in convenience, not an exercise in exercise. Why don't all the other guys make it this easy? Go configure. Caravan, the new Dodge.
You need your
Yada yada.
Well, we've got your
Yada yada.
Seinfeld every weeknight at 10 on Fox 29 WUTV. We've got the only
Yada yada.
in town.
Yada, yada, yada.
Fox NFL Sunday.
E-Trade. Someday we'll all invest this way presents the return of the week.
What a return!
In the NFL, special teams put out the fires that clear safe running lanes. Last Sunday, the Ravens did just that, snuffing out defenders and igniting this 87-yard touchdown run.
Up the sideline, he is gone! 20, 10, 5, touchdown!
When the smoke cleared, it was Baltimore on top of Cincinnati, 31-24.
When the market caught the Asian flu and the ruble turned to rubble, who was looking out for your interest?
To the following presentation of the National Football League.
It's a beautiful day in Orchard Park, New York. 56 degrees at kickoff. A slight east wind, 5 miles an hour. As the Bills have won the toss, they'll receive Kevin Williams deep to receive the kick from Wade Ritchie. And Ritchie bangs this one through the end zone, and the Bills will take over a touchback. 1st and 10 on their 20-yard line. Let's take a look at that Buffalo offense led by quarterback Rob Johnson. Picked up in a trade in the offseason from the Jacksonville Jaguars. Johnson coming to the Bills with just 1 NFL start. Up front, John Fina, Reuben Brown, Dusty Ziegler, Joe Panos over from the Eagles, and Jerry Ostrowski. In the backfield, Antoine Smith and Sam Gash. The receivers, Quinn Early and Eric Moulds. The tight end is Lonnie Johnson. Andre Reed out of this one with a separated shoulder. And this will be Johnson to throw on first down. He's going deep. He's got his man. And this is a reception from Eric Moulds. And the Bills go for it early.
This is what I was talking about. If they want to have a chance to beat the 49ers, first thing they got to do is let them know that they will take them downtown. Watch the protection. Not much of a play action, but a decent pickup there by Antoine Smith. And the ball is right on the money. Rob Johnson can let it fly. He just needs experience. But that's a strong message from Joe Pendry, the offensive coordinator, who's done well against the 49ers when he's been with the Carolina Panthers, you might remember, that we will try to attack you. Don't bring that 8-man front up too soon.
A 49-yard connection. Eric Moulds working on Darnell Walker. 1st and 10 for the Bills, and they'll throw it again, looking for Jay Remersma out on the outside, and there will be a flag down. It looks like they've got Tim McDonald pushing downfield. Could be pass interference on Remersma.
They're going to call Tim McDonald on the push-off. He had the coverage from that safety position.
Dick Hantak is our referee today.
Interference. Defense number 46. First down.
McDonald had his back turned to the ball the whole time. You can see it right over here. And one of the new rules this year is that anytime you cut off a receiver, even though you may be playing the ball, they're going to call that for pass interference.
1st and 10 again. Remersma in motion. This will be Antoine Smith taking it outside with a burst, getting inside the 10-yard line. Let's take a look at the 49er defense. Up front, it's an excellent group. The ends are Roy Barker and Chris Dolman. A couple of good ones played together in Minnesota. Bryant Young and Junior Bryant on the inside. The linebackers, Ken Norton Jr., who just made that last tackle, Winfred Tubbs, and Lee Woodall. In the secondary, Darnell Walker and Antonio Langham. The corners, Merton Hanks and Tim McDonald. A couple of Pro Bowlers at the safety positions. 2nd down and 8 now for the Bills. And Johnson will throw. And the pressure is on, and he'll be sacked by Roy Barker. 3rd sack of the year for Barker.
There's a problem. We talked about the sacks. The Buffalo Bills offensive line has given up the most sacks in the NFL so far. And there on the inside, that's just Barker. He's coming from that defensive end position. He loops inside, and that has been a huge problem, compounded by Rob Johnson holding the ball too long.
23rd time a Bills quarterback has been sacked this year, leading the NFL. And Thurman Thomas checks into the ball game as the Bills go to split backs on 3rd and 11. Johnson over the middle to Kevin Williams. Williams down to the 6-yard line. He'll be short of first down yardage, brought down by Lee Woodall.
Yeah, Buffalo settled for the field goal, but they got done what they wanted to get done. They knew they just couldn't go toe-to-toe with this team on defense. They had to have the big play. And they talked about sustaining the drive. Well, when you can make those kind of plays, you give up the drive in an effort to get this right here, a chance at points.
Steve Christie just 1 of 3 this year, but he splits the uprights, and Buffalo takes it early, 3-0 lead in Orchard Park.
El Sunday is brought to you by Southwest Airlines, proud sponsor of the NFL and official airline of the Super Bowl.
Congratulations. 2 minutes and 30 seconds into the contest, the Buffalo Bills take a 3-0 lead on a 24-yard Christie field goal. 74-yard drive in 5 plays, the big one, the 49-yard shot on the first play from Johnson to Eric Moles. Steve Christie set to kick it deep. Chuck Levy and R.W. McQuarters deep to receive. And this will be Levy, and he'll get knocked down at the 21-yard line. Eric Smedley with the special teams tackle, and a flag is down on the field, and it'll be holding on the return for the San Francisco 49ers.
Yeah, that's going to put them in the hole, and the one thing that the 49ers don't want to have to deal with.
During the return, number 50. 10-yard penalty, first down.
One thing the 49ers don't want to have to deal with is the crowd in this stadium. 80,000 plus full. It can get loud.
It will get loud. Steve Young, the quarterback, player of the month. He is playing his best football. Doing an excellent job. Up front, Jamie Brown, Ray Brown, Chris Dahlman, Kevin Gogan, and Derek Deese. The receivers, Rice and Stokes. The tight end, Irv Smith. In the backfield, Garrison Hurst, along with Mark Edwards. And there are flags again on the play.
And you see Bruce Smith doing some pointing. We talked about that matchup with him and Jamie Brown on that left side.
Start offense. Number 82, 5-yard penalty, still first down.
Irv Smith, the tight end, the guilty party. And it's 2 plays, 2 penalties for the 49ers.
And now they're going to begin to hear some noise back up in this end of the stadium. And that's even the open end by that tunnel. It can't get as loud there as it can get on the other end.
Chad Fan checks in as it's a 2 tight end formation. Garrison Hurst in the backfield in his own end zone. Hurst will take it off the right side. He goes nowhere. Bruce Smith makes the stop. Let's look at that Buffalo defense led by Bruce Smith, a 10-time All-Pro player. Probably one of the best pass rushing ends in football. Ted Washington and Sean Price inside. Phil Hansen, the other defensive end. The linebackers, Sam Rogers, John Holosek, and Gabe Northern. The secondary for the Buffalo Bills, Thomas Smith and Ken Irvin at the corners. Henry Jones and Kurt Schultz are the safeties. It'll be 2nd and 15. For the 49ers from their own 5-yard line. Young will throw. Look like
they're going to call him on the cutoff.
They're going to call it Ken Irvin working on Jerry Rice.
That's what I was talking about. That's the new rule. And whenever you run through a receiver, they're definitely going to call that. But that time it looked like Ken Irvin cut off Jerry Rice coming inside on the slant. If it holds up, they're talking about it.
Holding, offense, number 65, pass interference, defense, penalties are offset, replay the down, second down.
Offsetting penalties. Ray Brown, the holding.
Now watch Bruce Smith, he works inside on Ray Brown, and there's a hold.
Yeah, that's a hug.
Hurt knee or not, Bruce Smith got inside on big Ray Brown, and now here's the cutoff. Watch the angle Irvin takes right here. That is illegal this year, to cut off the receiver. Jerry Rice knows it, puts his arms up immediately. Good call by the officials.
So it'll be a replay of 2nd and 15. 3 wide receivers in the ball game.
This is getting to be like Groundhog Day here. They keep replaying and replaying.
This will be Chuck Levy off the right side. Nowhere to go. Ted Washington and Phil Hansen combined for the stop, bringing up a 3rd down and long for the 49er offense.
49ers haven't quite been able to get into their mix here. Usually on their first drive, they have their famous 15-play script. You see Steve Mariucci there reading off of it. And during that script, they have a ton of formation adjustments and personnel that goes in the game. Well, being backed up so much, they're inside the 10, they haven't been able to get to that yet.
The field position took them out of it. 3rd down and 12 from their own 8-yard line. Garrison Hurst set in the backfield. A 3 wide receiver set, and Young will throw the screen to Hurst. He's got some room on the outside. Shakes 1 tackle, cuts back inside. He's close to 1st down yardage before he is brought down by Marlo Perry. He's going to be short, and the Niners will have to punt this away.
The penalties help the Bills back here, along with the first penalty off the kickoff, along with the fact that it slowed down the tempo for the 49ers. 49ers want to come out in that first drive and bam, 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 run plays. They were never able to get into that rhythm.
Reggie Roby set the punt, averaged 46 yards last week. He'll kick it deep to Kevin Williams. And it's a liner.
He might have to tick this one.
Williams on the bounce, sidesteps a man, and he'll go out of bounds at the Buffalo 46-yard line. That's where the Bills will take over with a 3-0 lead when we return.
Last punt play. Watch what happens at the bottom here to Curtis Buckley, the gunner on the special teams play. Now, you want to be in NFL and play special teams. There's hazards on the sideline as well.
I don't know.
You got to wear a mouthpiece on the sidelines these days.
I'm telling you, it's dangerous over there. 1st and 10 for Buffalo from the 42. Johnson bends it to Antoine Smith. Junior Bryant there for the immediate tackle in the backfield. A loss of 2.
Yeah, big plays have to be in your repertoire when you play the 49ers because they are so solid up front. Now, we've seen a couple plays, a sack already by that man, Junior Bryant. But don't forget about the guy next to him, 97, Bryant Young. I mean, he is a beast as well.
2nd down and 12 for the Buffalo Bills. Johnson to throw. Looking outside. He's got Eric Moulds for a pickup of 8. Let's now return to James Brown in the Fox Network Center in Los Angeles for an NFL update.
Ray and Ron, Atlanta trying to become a better first-half team than second-half. Start on the good foot here. Opening kickoff. Tim Dwight high steps into the end zone 93 yards later. Falcons now on top 13-0 over the Carolina Panthers. Back to Ray and Ron.
Thank you, JP. A good start for the Falcons, who got beat up by this 49er team last week. 3rd down and 4. Thurman Thomas in the backfield. They're throwing underneath to the tight end, Remersma. Remersma close to 1st down yardage before Lee Woodall puts a hit on him. It just depends on where they mark it.
From the way he fell, it almost looks like it's a little short. They're going to have to measure that. But you can see right off the bat, and that's one thing that Rob Johnson talked about during the bye week. I got to get the ball out of my hands faster. You know, yeah, 22 sacks, that's nothing to laugh at. I mean, that's serious business for your offensive line to take care of. But by holding the ball, he's made matters worse.
Yeah, and a lot of those, he's scrambling around, gets just out of bounds, and no gain. They still call it a sack, and the Bills will be about 5 lengths short.
This is a tough decision.
You know what the crowd wants.
For Wade Phillips. I think you have to go for it. You're on the other side of the 50, and you're playing the 49ers. You're 0-3. You know, you don't exactly come into this game with the longest stick. You got to make something happen. You got to do anything you can to take them out of their rhythm.
Buffalo 1 for 1 in 4th down tries so far this season. Sam Gash and Antoine Smith in the backfield. Gash, a heck of a blocker.
Dropped the ball
and fumbled the football on a snap and couldn't get the push. I don't know. They mark it. He may have gotten the push. Bryant Young in there pushing for the 49ers with the tackle.
He lost that ball at the snap. By the time he got it back, I don't know if he was able to get himself in position to just get the few inches.
The surge seemed to be stopped after he dropped the football.
Watch inside. Watch Johnson. Watch right now. The ball's out. See, he doesn't have that ball secured. He picks it up. Boy, that's close.
Simplest play in football, the quarterback sneak. You got to be able to execute that.
The simplest and often most dramatic. I don't think he got it.
Merton Hanks is waving on the offense for the 49ers. He doesn't think they've got it either.
Yeah, he would have had to move beyond the center, and it didn't look like he moved anywhere near the center.
I believe he would have had it had he controlled the football on the snap.
Those are the type of things that have made life hard for the Buffalo Bills here.
He lost yardage.
And those are the type of things that make you and keep you 0-3.
A big defensive stop for the 49ers. They'll have the football in good field position, trailing 3-0 in Buffalo.
I believe I can call.
Young stops Rob Johnson on a 4th and 5 chain links to go, and the 49ers take over. Excellent penetration by Bryant Young and Junior Bryant.
Yes, it was, and you could tell they knew what was coming, the way they were hunkered down in there. They were ready for the quarterback sneak, and now you're giving Steve Young great field position.
Young on first down, throws it outside to Jerry Rice. Henry Jones comes up with good coverage, incomplete.
What you do here is you put a huge onus now on your defense. And you give the 49ers an offense that's been functioning at such a high level the last 3 weeks, and you give them the ball at midfield. So now you're saying to your defense, all right, this is as good as you're going to play all year. Play it right now.
Could be a huge turning point, although it is early in the ball game. 2nd down and 10 for Young. He'll hand to Hurst. Hurst shakes one tackle. He picks up 4 yards on the right side before Bruce Smith and John Holisek bring him down.
Let's watch how the 49ers are going to handle Bruce Smith. Now, he's worked inside on Ray Brown a couple times, but that's just a form of a double. He attacked Brown, but they brought Jamie Brown right out on him, and Jamie Brown is a huge man. That's one thing Bruce Smith told me the other day. He said, I don't know much about him. I've done some film from Denver, but I know one thing. He is a big, big boy.
6'8", 318 pounds. It'll be 3rd and 5. Young looking for Rice. He'll scramble and slide, and their flag comes out as Young is brought down by Marlo Perry and Kurt Schultz short of first down yardage. And Young's going to say Rice is going to say he was held. Thomas Smith working on him on the right side, and Dick Hantak agrees with Jerry Rice.
And a one advantage Steve said to having a new left tackle being that he's left-handed. His blind side.
Defense, number 28, 5 yards, first down.
His blind side is to the right, so he can see where Bruce Smith is on the rollout. But here's the holding penalty. Working on Thomas Smith, and Thomas Smith says he's not afraid of anybody, but Jerry Rice, he had to grab him a little bit that way.
I think his heart would beat a little faster with Mr. Rice over top of him.
I would love to have an EKG in their heart when you line up across number 80.
Little stress test.
Coming off an injury or not, he can still make it happen.
1st and 10 for the 49ers at the Buffalo 37-yard line. They come out with 2 tight ends. This will be Rice in motion. Young on play action. Pressure's on. Gabe Northern has got him for a sack.
I don't know if Steve Young had any place to throw the ball, and one thing the Bills wanted to do was stay very vanilla. They didn't want to do a whole lot. And you can see Rice working up the middle of the field, and Schultz is coming right to him. He doesn't have a place to go with the football. Now here's Terrell Owens, and Thomas Smith is all over him with a safety inside that you can't see. Gabe Northern works outside and just gets a great push on the tight end. Chad Fan looks like, and he's got no place to go with the ball.
2nd and 11. Young looking quick. Throws a slant, and it's intercepted. This is Ray Jackson. Up the sidelines, forced out of bounds. A huge play for the Buffalo defense. A 25-yard return of an interception for Ray Jackson, a third-year man out of Colorado State.
The mistake the Falcons made last week in the opening drives, the first quarter, they tried to get too fancy, too many double coverages, instead of playing just base defense. And that's what the Bills are doing.
The Bills take over at midfield. We'll be back in just a moment.
Bills Sunday is brought to you by Ford F-Series. The best-selling trucks are built Ford tough. By Nike. And by Visa, the preferred card of the NFL. It's everywhere you want to be.
A Ray Jackson interception sets up the Buffalo Bills 1st and 10 at the 50-yard line. Johnson will throw on first down, trying to hit Eric Moulds. Antonio Langham with excellent coverage. Let's go back to that interception.
Henry Jones right here. He's going to work and put the double inside on Jerry Rice. I think this one is on Steve Young. He doesn't read that double. He just throws thinking the slant's there. And the only person that's there is Ray Jackson. And the Bills have 6 defensive backs in the game to match up with the 49ers 3 wide receiver personnel. And it's really a simple thing, just doubles on the outside men.
2nd and 10, the Bills will run the trap play. Panos pulls in front of Antoine Smith. Not much room in the middle. He'll pick up 2 yards.
Now, those are the kind of plays on defense the Bills need if they want to win this game. Not only have they had the big play on offense, but the defense put in a really tough position.
Right.
We said that earlier. Giving the 49ers the ball, the highest producing offense in the NFL right now, at the 50-yard line. And to come off that field with the interception is a huge, huge momentum builder.
The Niners offense averaging 533 yards a game coming in. Each game over 500 yards. But the Bills offense now at 3rd down and 9. And Rob Johnson's going to have to take a timeout. Ran out of time on the play clock. And we will take a break. The Buffalo Bills have a 3-0 lead over the San Francisco 49ers.
Buffalo, through the United Way, we're building better communities. The NFL, the United Way, and you, the power of teamwork.
It's a beautiful day in Western New York. The Buffalo Bills taking on the San Francisco 49ers. Buffalo with an early 3-0 lead. They have the football, 3rd down and 8 from the 49er 48. Thurman Thomas in the backfield, 3 wide receivers for Rob Johnson. Johnson will throw. Pressure's on. He's going to be sacked by Barker again, along with Bryant Young. Both of them getting in there and sacking the Bills quarterback. We've seen a lot of that this year in Buffalo.
Yeah, and once again, the inside pressure is what makes Johnson have to pull it down first. Bryant Young loops all the way around from the outside and causes everything to stop up for the Bills inside. And that's the kind, you talk about impact guys. Without a doubt, I think Bryant Young playing the best football of any defensive tackle in the NFL.
Chris Moore will punt it away to R.W. McQuarters. McQuarters, fair catch signal at the 12-yard line. Tuesday, it's a huge night on Fox. The King of the Hill reveals a shocking secret. Then Sue takes Road Rage to a new level on Costello, followed by Guinness World Record Primetime. It's a night of all new episodes, Tuesday, starting at 8, 7 Central.
I've often thought about getting a tattoo, but that was something else.
Yes. You know what? I have never thought about getting a tattoo.
Well, you're a tattoo kind of guy.
You'd think I am, but I'm really not. I'm a very conservative Midwestern kind of guy.
Okay.
But I can see you, that L.A. cool. First down, the 49ers will run Garrison Hurst looking for room outside. Hurst will be wrestled to the turf by Ken Irvin.
Garrison Hurst on the right side. Ken Irvin and Henry Jones.
The 49ers have been an offensive machine so far this year. Look at these stats they've rang up along with points, rushing out to a 3-0 record.
And in each game, one thing is similar. They start out fast. And by the time the second quarter rolls around, they get the big plays and they're starting to roll on people. That hasn't happened so far today.
On 2nd and 4, they'll run the count. It's Garrison Hurst, John Holisek, and Sam Rogers combined to stop him for little or no gain.
Holisek making a nice play. You know, he's actually stepping in for Chris Spielman, who's decided to take this year off and be with his wife, who's battling cancer. And of course, all of us here at Fox wish them the best in that battle.
A great family.
But you look around, and in fact, there's Spielman right there. You look around and you don't see that core of guys that once was there. And this is a huge 3rd down for the 49ers.
3rd down and 3. Owens in motion. Bruce Smith with an early start. We'll see who they call it on. Working on Jamie Brown.
False start. Offense. 72. 5-yard
Jamie
penalty.
Brown.
Still 3rd.
And that's one of the things they were concerned about, the Niners coming in. This crowd noise, particularly when you're down in that end zone area, it can get loud.
Now watch Jamie Brown right here. He knows he's got Bruce Smith, regardless of knee injury or no knee injury. He knows he's still Bruce. And Bruce got fired up at some of Bob McKittrick, the offensive lineman coach for the 49ers, comments in the paper saying that, well, Bruce isn't the same Bruce. You know, talking to Bruce on the sideline the other day at practice, he was kind of down about his knee, but talking to him the day before the game, he was a totally different person.
The incendiary McKittrick lighting a fire under Smith. Young scrambles, and he'll run this one. And he'll get 1st down yardage. The dangerous Steve Young running out of the backfield. It'll be 1st and 10, a 12-yard pickup for Steve Young.
And Steve Young has talked about, as we look at Wade Phillips there, you get everybody covered, and then the quarterback takes off and runs. But you talk about as you get older, you get a little smarter. And he's gotten a little smarter in terms of not quite taking all those hits. Because everybody in this organization knows when he takes the hits, now you're really get scary, and you're putting the offense in jeopardy. So he's learned to jump out of bounds, maybe get on the ground a little faster than normal.
Garrison Hurst on 1st down. And the Bills defense.
Ball's out.
The ball is out. Buffalo has it. Recovered by Ken Irvin. I'm sorry, Thomas Smith on the recovery for the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah, that's just sloppy football there by the 49ers, who usually take care of ball and always preach the fundamental things like ball security. I mean, they come into this game a +5 turnover ratio. That's 3rd in the NFC. They just don't give it up. Looked like Henry Jones jumped in there, got a little bit of the rake.
I think it was Phil Hansen punching the ball out. And then it's loose on the ground. And Thomas Smith hops on it, and Buffalo, with the 2nd forced turnover against San Francisco, has the football on the 30-yard line. Rob Johnson puts Remersma in motion. He'll throw on 1st down over the middle. He's got a wide open Kevin Williams. Williams up past the 20, down to the 15-yard line before he's forced out of bounds by Tim McDonald, to pick up a 15.
And it's one thing to get the turnover, but what Buffalo hasn't been able to do when they've gotten them is turn them into points. And you can see there the 49er turnover margin. I mean, you go from +5 coming into this game, which is a huge reason along with great offense that you're doing so well, and now today they're in the -2.
And the 49ers 72-1 when they win the turnover battle in their last 73 games.
That's unbelievable.
It is. 1st and 10. And it'll be Antoine Smith trying the middle of the line. Not a lot of room there.
Antoine Smith, part of that platoon of backs. Thurman Thomas, the guy who's held the position here at running back for so many years through the Super Bowls, has pretty much conceded to be the backup. However, he says he likes that role.
He does.
It takes years off my life. That's right.
Antoine Smith averages 5.5 yards per carry here in the friendly confines in Buffalo. On the road, just 2.7 per carry. 2nd down and 8. They'll pitch it out to Smith. He's got room outside. Phoenix throws a block. The Niners close with good pursuit. It's Lee Woodall on the stop.
Nothing like the 49er team speed on defense. And with the addition of Winfred Tubbs, that linebacking core is just plain solid and fast. They can run to you. When they get to you, they've got a bad attitude. Merton Hanks chasing from the outside in. Darnell Walker, he comes up and makes the play. And Darnell Walker is probably going to stay on the field as a corner when Marquez Pope gets healthy, because he's playing great football.
Came over from Atlanta and has has done an excellent job. 3rd down for the Bills. 7 to go from the 12-yard line. Johnson runs out of time. He's being chased down. He lets it go into the end zone. Incomplete. Looking for Eric Mold, but the flag flies.
Right.
He's looking for Quinn Early. And I think Antonio Langham got there early.
Holding. Defense. Number 43.
That'll be an automatic first down
penalty.
for the Buffalo Bills.
First down.
Langham has had his problems at that corner position now. And the Buffalo Bills know that. They've made it a point this game to try to do some things to take advantage of that. And there's an example right there. Now Early and Langham are in the back of the end zone. They're going to be to the left. And that's after the contact that was supposedly made by Langham.
1st and goal for Buffalo from the 7-yard line. Sam Gash in motion. Antoine Smith bounces it outside. He's in the end zone. Touchdown Buffalo.
Antoine Smith said, I'm not happy with the way I'm running. I'm not running strong enough. I'm not running hard enough. If I don't truck a couple guys in the game, I'm not happy. Well, that time he used the strength and he trucked his way on into the end zone.
Steve Christie to add the extra point. It is up and it is good. And there's a little wrestling match on the field.
Oh, that's one of your old skirmishes there.
Hey, extra point time. That's tee-off time.
That's tee-off time.
Looks like Junior Bryant and
Mark Pike
are going at it a little bit. Mark Pike seeing his first action. Tore a bicep.
They're going to work right off Reuben Brown over here, the guard on the left side. And this is just a good effort by Antoine Smith. You see he's got to go man up, and Merton Hanks has got to come down and make that tackle. And I do not envy Merton Hanks, because Antoine Smith is a load at 6'3", 224. Merton has just got to try to hold him one-on-one. He needs more help from his boys. You're not going to win that one. That's a tough one. And Merton can bring it as well as anybody. You see Thurman Thomas, that's the role he said he loved, is getting Antoine Smith fired up. He said they work so well together. Antoine said he's learned so much from Thurman. And in spite of what the media in Buffalo here has said about Thurman Thomas not liking the role as the backup, you can see there's no problem with the role.
Thurman Thomas loves Antoine Smith. He says some of these young guys won't listen to you. One who does is Antoine Smith. Uncharacteristic mistakes from the 49ers.
Well, that was the only thing that Mariucci was worried about when we talked to him the other day. Turnovers, penalties, the mistakes. I'm worried about the left tackle position, he said, but if we have the mistakes in this type of setting, it could hurt us.
The Bills have made mistakes up until this week. They've played nearly flawless here in the first quarter. Steve Christie will hit it deep. It's Chuck Levy and R.W. McQuarters, and this will be McQuarters. McQuarters with a seam. He's got some room. He's still alive up to the 35-yard line. And the ball comes out late. And they're going to give it to Buffalo. Another turnover. Sam Cowart making the special teams hit.
And you know it's a wrestling match for that ball now.
Oh, it gets nasty under there, doesn't it? They're still fighting for it. And that is Camille Loud, the rookie wide receiver that recovers the fumble for the Buffalo Bills. Sam Cowart's got a hold of him. Manny Martin comes and cleans it up.
Now Cowart, the ball had to be out before the body slam there, because the ground couldn't cause that fumble. Right here you see Cowart, he's working with him. Oh no, the hit right there.
Yeah, Manny Martin.
Manny Martin comes with the helmet hit.
And Buffalo will take over on the 35-yard line of the 49ers with a 10-0 lead. Thurman Thomas in the backfield. Thomas, his first carry, shakes one man, but then is hit by the safety, McDonald.
Oh, and they're going to contest that one. That was a late hit. I mean, Thurman Thomas clearly slammed to the ground. And that's a big 15er.
And the 49ers are unraveling.
Defense, number 46, slamming the man to the ground. 15 yards, first down.
The Bills have been criticized the last 3 weeks for not having the enthusiasm, the energy, and that winning attitude that they've held up here all through the 90s. But I'm going to tell you, today, thus far, you look at Wade Phillips there, that attitude is here. And they've gotten it with the help of some 49er mistakes and miscues. The penalties, again, killing the 49ers. Very, very unlike 49er football.
And then the turnovers. Throw them on top, and you've got problems. And this has been the way the Bills have been playing football.
And, Ray, you know this is not the place that you get behind and come back and do well. I mean, this is a very loud, intimidating place, and it's going to get louder and more intimidating as things continue to go well for the Buffalo Bills.
Buffalo will take over 1st and 10 at the 18-yard line after the penalty. They've got 3 wideouts and Thurman Thomas in the backfield. They'll pitch it outside to Thomas. He gets a block from Feenan. He'll pick up excellent yardage down to the 12-yard line. A 6-yard gain for Thurman Thomas, brought down by Zach Bronson.
49ers can't make the mistake of thinking that man right there is old and can't do it anymore, because Thurman Thomas can do it. He can still burst through the hole. He can still hurt you running the football.
And Thurman Thomas gets the crowd excited. 2nd down and 4 now for the Bills at the 49er 12-yard line. Sam Gash and Antoine Smith in the backfield. Gash in motion. And they give it to Smith. And he powers his way down to the 5-yard line for a first down. And that will be the end of the first quarter with a score. The Buffalo Bills 10, the San Francisco 49ers 0. Fox NFL Sunday will continue after these messages and a word from your local Fox station.
You have a telephone number, a credit card number, a fax number, a pager number, a checking account number. Isn't it about time you had a number for freedom? Jeep Cherokee. With rugged good looks, shift-on-the-fly 4-wheel drive, and a 4-liter engine, it's the number you've been looking for. Now lease Cherokee with these features at no extra charge. Check one out at your Jeep dealer.
People gather from across the land, Marietta to Rio Grande, Columbus, Asheville, Crestwood, fun festivals coming to your neighborhood.
Every year, people gather at the Bob Evans Farm Festival. Right now at your neighborhood Bob Evans restaurant, you can taste the festival and a selection of hearty autumn dishes.
Get the cats out of the driveway.
With the queen of road rage.
I want to give them the finger. There you go!
An all-new Costello Tuesday after King of the Hill on Fox.
The Buffalo Bills in the red zone 7 times this year, 5 touchdowns and 1 field goal. Their 1st and goal from the 6. 2 tight ends in the ball game. They'll pitch it outside to Antoine Smith. He follows Sam Gash. Smith with no room on the outside. He's forced out of bounds after a pickup of 1. Winfred Tubbs on the play.
Now, another thing that's been able to help the Bills outside of the mistakes from the 49ers, the offensive coordinator, Joe Pendry, was with the Carolina Panthers. There he is. He was with the Carolina Panthers in '96 when the team went 12-4 and beat the 49ers twice that year. He has a very good feel of how to get to this team and how to work this team. And one thing he said is you got to get them early, and they got them early with the big plays in the first series.
2nd and goal from the 5. Johnson throwing it up top outside. Touchdown, Buffalo. That's Quinn Early on the reception from Rob Johnson.
And it's the continuation of the turnovers, the good field position, and Buffalo is taking advantage of the turnovers and turning it into points. Just a fade route. Johnson has got to throw it right over the head of Langham, and it's all timing. What a throw. What a catch.
Right through Langham's
right
hands.
through Langham's hands. And poor Antonio Langham, he has been snake bit as a corner with the 49ers thus far.
Steve Christie converts the extra point. Buffalo goes up 17-0 here early in the second quarter.
NFL Sunday is brought to you by Volkswagen. On the road of life, there are passengers and there are drivers. By Burger King. If you ask us, it just tastes better. By UPS, moving at the speed of business. And by Dr. Pepper and your local Dr. Pepper bottler. Dr. Pepper, this is the taste.
Quinn Early, the recipient of a Rob Johnson touchdown pass. The Bills out to a 17-0 lead, a 5-play, 35-yard drive. Christie will kick it deep to McCorders and Levy.
And it is a kick.
This will be Chuck Levy, and he'll have to down it 5 yards deep in the end zone. The difference in the game has been miscues by the 49ers.
Right, and I thought this one was Steve Young. He didn't read the coverage well and threw it in a very bad spot. Right here, just the fumble by Garrison Hurst. The rake job coming from the other side by Phil Hansen. And then the kickoff. Nothing in the NFL will get you beat faster, and this game is a prime example so far than the turnover.
49er offense in business from the 20-yard line. They'll get off to Garrison Hurst, and the Bills defense doesn't let it get anywhere. John Holisek, the linebacker, comes up with a stop.
Now that's the 49ers' 13th offensive play. They work off that famous 15-play script. During that script, they use all the adjustments and forms to get an idea what the defense is going to do. Well, because of all the turnovers, they're not through the script yet.
And the poor field position.
You're right, and the poor field position. Steve Mariucci and the rest of the 49ers, they don't really have an idea of what the Bills are planning to do against them.
2nd and 9. Young with plenty of time. Throws it outside. He's got Terrell Owens. Thomas Smith on the coverage. Owens picks up first down yardage.
And there's an idea right there. Young doing what he does so well, reloading. Not too many quarterbacks in the league can do that. And if I'm Rob Johnson, I'm getting up off the bench and I'm going to watch this guy. Because nobody sees the field better, except for that one play in the first quarter, than Steve Young. And that was a good example of it right there. And of course, time from your offensive line helps.
1st and 10 from the 31. Young hands it inside to Hurst. Phil Hansen makes the stop. Jerry Rice has been shut out so far today.
Yeah, and they've effectively put the double team on him at the right time. One thing Wade Phillips said, that when I played against the 49ers as a defensive coordinator, we had to mix things up. You have to show them something different, because if you don't, they'll shoot holes in you. That one double coverage they used against Jerry in interception was something a little different they hadn't shown before.
2nd down and 9. Rice in motion. Young on a bootleg. He has Irv Smith as tight end. Henry Jones there on the coverage and the tackle. It'll be a pickup of 6 yards, bringing up a 3rd and short for the 49ers.
Ted Cottrell, the Bills defensive coordinator, says, I don't mind the catch. This offense is so efficient and gets so many men out in the route. But what I want is the catch and the tackle, like that play right there, forcing the 3rd and hopefully more than 4 yards.
The Bills shuffle in their dime defense as the Niners go to their 4 wide receiver package. Young with pressure. Overthrows his receiver, Irv Smith. Marlo Perry, I'm sorry, that's Chuck Levy. Marlo Perry on the coverage. Bruce Smith with the pressure.
Yeah, he had the pressure, and watch the swim move inside. Working on Jamie Brown right here. Step outside, boom, arm over. That is classic Bruce Smith. Don't believe the hype about the hurt knee. Because when it's game time and he's fired up about the comments made, that's the kind of thing he's going to do, and forces Steve Young just to pull the trigger maybe a hair early.
Low snap from Randy Kirk. Reggie Roby gets away another poor punt. And a daring Kevin Williams will field it, saving the Bills yardage. They'll take over on the 27-yard line. They have a 17-0 lead with 11:48 left in the first half. Rob Johnson, 6 of 7 for 88 yards and the touchdown to Quinn Early, as Buffalo has jumped out to a 17-0 second quarter lead. They have the football at the 27-yard line. First down and 10. Thurman Thomas in the backfield. 3 wide receivers for Johnson. The Niners showing blitz and blitzing. It's picked up. Johnson with plenty of time. He's going downtown again. Looking for Kevin Williams. He's got it. Williams steps out of bounds at the 26-yard line. But not until it's another huge play for the Buffalo Bills.
And once again, they're working on that right side, the left cornerback position, Antonio Langham. The blitz comes, or they fake it, but the protection is solid. Look at the pocket that Rob Johnson's got to throw, and the out and up. They get Antonio Langham. He's close, but it's a perfect throw.
A 46-yard hookup.
And that's one thing we said that Rob Johnson can do. He's got the tools. He can make the throws, given the time.
Kevin Williams came into today's game with just 1 catch and 1 run for 28 yards. A big part of the offense with Andre Reed out. First and 10. They'll hand it to Sam Gash. Gash with no room picks up maybe 2 in the middle. Brenton Buckner with the stop. Well, there's baseball going on right now. Tonight it's game 4 of the National League Division Series. A pair of lefties taking the mound. Randy Johnson for the Astros and Sterling Hitchcock for the Padres. San Diego with a 2-1 series lead. But last night it was Jim Leyritz. That's 7th inning solo shot. Put the Padres over the hump. But tune in tonight following football at 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific on Fox. Check out some excellent playoff baseball. Second down and 8 for the Buffalo Bills. Johnson will throw. He's looking for the post to Eric Moulds, but great coverage. Boy, that was almost picked off. It was Merton Hanks and Darnell Walker on the coverage.
Yeah, those are the kind of throws that Rob Johnson isn't good enough to make right now. Merton Hanks from the safety position, who has the speed of a corner because he was a corner and still plays it at times, came down from the safety and almost made a great play. But the coverage starts with Darnell Walker. I mean, he's right there. He should have had the interception. 2 guys should have had it.
Brings up a 3rd down now and 7 for Buffalo. Niners will blitz. Johnson running for his life. He gets slammed from the backside.
Merton Hanks
on a safety blitz did not get picked up, and he just smashed Rob Johnson.
John Marshall, the 49er defensive coordinator, said, I got to make things happen. He's coming from the inside. Right on the outside. They're lined up in the corner position like we just talked about. Never saw him coming, never expected to see him coming. And what he does is he pushes this ball way back for the field goal.
Steve Christie, a 51-yard attempt. He's been good from 59 in his career. And this will be no good.
I'm not sure that ball didn't get tipped on the way out.
It came out kind of funny.
Bryant Young has already gotten 1 partial block or block.
So the 49ers will take over on the 40-yard line. When we return, they trail 17-0. Mariucci doing the mariachi after that missed field goal from Steve Christie. Hit the upright, and that could be a big break for the 49ers.
Oh, that's huge, because the 49ers are not a team to get out of their game plan. But last time they trailed, you know, it's been a while, as you can see.
It's 96.
And had the Bills scored there, they might have had to start thinking about doing some things different. But as long as you got number 8 in your backfield, you don't change anything. You stick with the plan.
First and 10 from the 41. Young will throw. And he's got Jerry Rice. Rice is on the board. First catch today, he's working on Ken Irvin. He'll pick up 10 yards and be close to first down yardage.
Some interesting things for Jerry Rice. This is his first game in this stadium here in Buffalo. First time for Steve Young here. And this place is filled up. A little difference with the noise. Also the last time that Jerry Rice faced the Bills, he got knocked unconscious. So he's had a couple rough ones against the Bills in terms of that.
First down and 10. Steve Young on play action. And he'll throw this one inside. He's got J.J. Stokes. And Young begins to heat up. Stokes working on Ken Irvin. He'll pick up another first down.
And in order for him to heat up, they've got to solve this situation with Bruce Smith. And a nice punch there by Jamie Brown, but then he lets him go late. But the initial punch holds him. And this is just J.J. Stokes working inside and the timing of the throw. Very nice.
This will be Hurst on first down. He'll pick up 5 down to the 31-yard line. Brought down by John Holisek and Gabe Northern.
And the 49ers are confident they can do a lot of things just with their formations to keep Bruce Smith off of Steve Young. And he was just complaining on that last play about a face mask.
He was right.
Yeah. Jamie got a little and put the hands back.
Second down and 5. The Niners will run it out to the right side. Garrison Hurst gets nothing. Sam Cowart, the rookie linebacker, makes the stop. Cowart, the first selection for the Bills this year, a number 2 pick out of Florida State.
And what all these penalties and turnovers have done for the 49ers, you can see the tempo is not as fast. This is a team that plays very quick. Well, they've had to slow down and almost regroup, get their stuff together, and start rolling again.
A big third down, 3rd and 4 from the Buffalo 30. 3 wide out. Irv Smith switches sides. Young will throw. He pumps. Now the pressure's on, and he'll be sacked. Phil Hansen got him.
And that right there is a coverage sack and a regular sack. Steve Young had no place to go with the ball, and he couldn't even run out of the pocket. I mean, across the board, these guys are locked up. There's Jerry Rice right there. Garrison Hurst. A little hole there by Irvin, but that is just perfect man-to-man coverage down the field.
Wade Ritchie, his longest field goal of the year, a 31-yarder. This will be from 48. He's got the distance.
It's drifting.
But it is no good. Wide left from Wade Ritchie. Now just 3 of 6 on the year in field goals. And the Niners stay scoreless. It's Buffalo 17, San Francisco nothing. Wade Phillips doing his version of the mariachi on the other sideline.
Wade Phillips getting fired up. Hey, he's had to come into a difficult situation here. Not only change your quarterback from last year having to go through Todd Collins, but this team has gone through 3 different offensive coordinators in the last 3 years.
You saw the yardage disparity last week against Atlanta. The Niners had 394 yards in the first half, just 89 today. It's Buffalo's ball, first down and 10. Molds in motion.
Donald.
They'll hand it off to Antoine Smith. What a Smith's going to lose yardage.
Yeah, give that credit to Tim McDonald coming down from the safety position. That is the advantage of being able to come and play 8 men on the line of scrimmage. And you have to take a gamble. 49ers got tagged early on with a deep pass. So when you bring that 8th man up, you're saying outside of the corners, you guys got man-to-man, and they've been stung by that. But you're down 17-0 defensively. They feel like they have to make something happen.
Right, they have to force a turnover, make a play to get back into it. And Rob Johnson will take a timeout to get his house in order.
And look how much time Steve Young, Jerry Rice, how much time they've been off the field.
Right.
That's the thing that stands out in my mind. I mean, the more they play, they get better. But they're cold now.
Let's go back in time. Who's Who's that guy? That's a football player right there, I'll tell you that. That number 50 with the Buffalo Bills.
That's when men were men, right?
Yeah.
Look at that hairdo.
Oh, look at this guy. Now, this is how you return a punt. I think I had the key block in this one that sprung you, and I never really got my due on this.
All right, I'll tell you, I'll give you your due right now.
All right, thank you.
Of course, it helps when the punter is punting, out of his own end zone.
Yeah, I have to take credit for that, too. I think they made the stop.
He did a good job, though. Yeah, what was with that, the eye black? You used to go a little crazy on that.
Yeah, that's an old thing. I started doing that in high school. With the Alice Cooper eye black, you get your game face on and you get ready to tear it loose.
Where else would you rather be, they say, right?
That's right. Second down.
Here comes again.
The blitz comes. They'll try to dump it off to Thurman Thomas on the screen, but it is smelled out by Junior Bryant. We'll call it a gain of 1. Actually, no gain.
This time, McDonald came from up top. He held it and stuck down real late and got the blitz. And that's a changeup from standing on the line of scrimmage. And the Bills did pick it up. And that's what they've had problems with. Now, Thurman Thomas stayed in to check, but they have had serious problem inside blitz pickup. You will see more of that from the 49ers as this game goes on.
Nice play by Junior Bryant, weaving through the traffic for the stop. Johnson will throw on 3rd and 12. He'll run. He'll scramble. He avoids Lee Woodall and tries to stretch it out for the first down, but he will not get it. He'll come up a couple yards short.
And Ray, you talked about Woodall's play. I mean, there's a guy that is just always solid and often overlooked. I mean, He's got the Pro Bowls, but he's just always there, always making the plays. And as you can see, spends a little bit of time in the weight room on them guns.
He looks like an action figure. Lee Woodall, the speed that he brings to the field, it really enables him to make all kinds of plays all over, sideline to sideline. Chris Moore set to bang this one away. R.W. McQuarters will return. And he'll let it bounce, and it'll go into the end zone. A touchback for Chris Moore. San Francisco will take over on the 20-yard line. What do they have to do to get this offense going?
They need some big plays. I mean, it's clear that the Bills are really confident in what they've been running with the help with all the mistakes, but they're not trying to be fancy. They're running base stuff. Just some base cover 2s, some base cover 3s, and they showed them a different wrinkle when it came time for double coverage. Something the 49ers haven't seen, and it paid off.
Ted Cottrell, the defensive coordinator for the Buffalo Bills, put an excellent plan together.
And his whole thing on the passes. I don't mind the catches. It's hard to stop, but we got to have the tackle immediately.
Stop the yak.
Yeah, the yak. The yards after the catch is what kills people.
4 wide outs on first down. Young with time. Throws it out to Garrison Hurst. Hurst one-on-one with Northern. He'll pick up 7 yards before he's brought down by Gabe Northern.
Still nothing down the field for Steve Young. This is where he wanted to go. He wanted to work to this side. You see Schultz working, and they got Jerry Rice double. And you can expect that all day long. Don't expect for him to start looking. As we look at the last couple possessions, last 5 possessions, obviously not good.
Garrison Hurst on 2nd and 2 will pick up about 1.5. He'll be short of the first down. Brought down by Ted Washington in the middle of that Bills line. Washington is the middle of the Bills line. 6'4". They say 325. I'm wondering which leg they weighed.
You look at the Bills, and you see in the linebacker core, you don't recognize any names.
Right.
You know, Sam Rogers is there, but Holisek, that's a new name. Gabe Northern, just in his 3rd year. You have to wonder who these guys are. Where do they come from?
3rd down and 1. Hurst with first down yardage. Ted Washington again on the stop.
1-yard gain. First down for the 49ers.
Just the 5th first down of the day for the San Francisco 49ers. Yeah, that's usually their output in the first drive.
Yeah, right.
First down and 10 from the 31-yard line. Holisek blitz up the middle.
Jerry Rice looked like he moved a little early.
No play.
Flag is out.
And if I'm not mistaken, he did that last game.
Still first down.
A mistake from one of the 49er veterans will put them back 1st and 15. The penalties again have been a thorn in the side of this 49er offense.
And it's so unusual to see this offense on the other side, as they call the minus side of the 50. I mean, they're working real hard just to get to the 50-yard line.
1st and 15. Rice in motion. Young to throw. He throws a little behind Terrell Owens, and it's incomplete.
The 49er rhythm is not there. The tempo is not there. And this goes back to what the Bills did on their first series, the first play from line of scrimmage. They got them deep. And they made them hold the ball. They said, we are going to control the tempo of this game. We're going to keep Steve Young and Jerry Rice off the field. And when they come back on, they're going to have to spend a few minutes to get warmed up before they can get it going again.
3 wide outs on 2nd and 15. The Bills with a dime defense. Young with time, and now he'll scramble. Bruce Smith is hot on him. Oh, he gets picked up, and now Phil Hansen will drive him out of bounds.
Boy, Chuck Levy.
I think it was Jamie Brown
came over
and got him.
Yeah.
Somebody got it.
Somebody came over and blasted Bruce. Now, Bruce is going to... A nice job by Jamie Brown. Here's a guy, remember, that hasn't had a live snap since last year. And the block right there, that is Levy.
You're right, it is Levy.
But once again, there's no place for Steve Young to go with the football. Ray Jackson just locking up J.J. Stokes.
It looked like Rice was open there for a second, but Young had already gone to his next read.
And don't forget, he's throwing an interception to that side, so he may be a little skittish.
3rd and 11. Young over the middle, overthrows Jerry Rice. Rice wants a holding. There is no flag.
And that ball is real high going over the middle. Those are layout balls there. You don't see Steve Young give Jerry Rice too many of those. Thurman Thomas getting fired up.
Excellent coverage, a good stand for the Bills defense, forcing the punt. Reggie Roby on. He'll kick it deep to Kevin Williams.
And as the offense continues to struggle for the 49ers, the defense has to begin to get a little demoralized. I mean, you hate to see that, and you don't let yourself get down. But when you see a high-powered offense like you've got, have trouble, it makes you think.
Roby, a high spiral. Williams on the 22. He bobbles it. It's a muff. And he gets on it and recovers it at the 20-yard line. A 48-yard.
They got a flag down. Is that a flag?
Roby. It is a flag on the field.
It's a late one. Or is that just some kind of... I don't know what that thing is down there. It looks like a flag.
Well, there's a hat down on the ground, I can tell you that much.
Yeah, that means usually somebody ran out of bounds and came in on the punt coverage team.
And that is a flag if I've ever seen one.
On the kicking team.
Gosh.
Unnecessary roughness. Number 28, 15 yards. First down.
Curtis Buckley.
Curtis Buckley with a little extracurricular activity.
Curtis Buckley was brought here from Tampa Bay to the 49ers because they like his enthusiasm and his aggressiveness. Now, he's working right there, and they're just giving him the business.
And he gave
that shot right there.
That's one of the few times they caught the first punch.
George Stewart, the special teams coach, he said, listen, I brought you here. I can take you out of here, too. Keep your cool. Steve Mariucci walked over and said a little something to him as well. That's never good when the head coach says something to you
that's not a good
outside of good job. And the thing about it, I mean, they're not just getting the little penalties. They're getting the huge ones, the personal fouls, the 15ers.
78 penalty yards already, just 5 for Buffalo. Coming up next, it's game 2 of our doubleheader. The Eagles head into Mile High to take on Terrell Davis and the Broncos. Or you'll see a battle between the Giants and the Buccaneers. It's all coming up next here on Fox. The Bills coming into this one were the ones who were concerned about the penalties. Wade Phillips harped on that this week, and apparently the guys have listened. Antoine Smith dives over the middle for a gain of 1. Brought down by Brian Young. The last time the Niners offense was shut out in the first half came last season against the Dallas Cowboys. With just 2 minutes left in this half, they're going to have to get the football back to get on the board. However, they won that game. We are down now to our 2-minute warning. The Buffalo Bills a commanding 17-0 lead over the San Francisco 49ers.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Miller Lite.
Steve Young trying to figure out what's going on the sidelines. The Buffalo Bills have the football. 2 minutes left in the first half. They're at their own 35-yard line. And something happened to draw the 49ers off sides. Reuben Brown's pointing and dancing the other way. Dick Hantak trying to sort this out.
False start. Offense, number 72, prior to the snap. 5-yard penalty. Still second down.
Joe Panos, the guilty party. Just the second penalty. Both of them 5-yarders on the Buffalo Bills this afternoon.
And that's what happens when you start to walk your people up on the line of scrimmage like the 49ers are doing. They've shown blitz the last series out, and it was effective for them. The Bills are going to see a heavy dose of that from here on in, especially if the Bills do things like that and then move early.
Herman Thomas checks into the lineup. 3 wide receivers for the Buffalo Bills. Second down and 15. Johnson throws it. It's batted away. Bryant Young. I think he got a helmet on that one.
Bryant Young always gets something on it. I mean, whether it's a hand on a field goal or the sack or the deflection. That time you said he got the helmet on it. He's going to be coming from the inside, looping around. There he is. I think he got hit right in the face mask. I think Johnson tried to pull that one back and realized he let it go a little bit too far.
Looked like one of those longest yard plays. Johnson will throw on 3rd and 15. He's got Kevin Williams on the right side. Williams picks up first down yardage and gets out of bounds to stop the clock. The rookie R.W. McQuarters had the coverage.
This is a crucial situation now for the Bills. 1 timeout left, working a 2-minute. And he's working inside on the rookie and just going to go to the out. They've got that little bit of separation. Don't forget, Williams is a veteran. He's been around. He knows how to get just enough separation, make the catch, and then very alertly getting out of bounds to stop the clock.
Williams, a 6-year man out of Miami. 1st and 10 for the Bills. Johnson will throw again. And now he'll scramble.
He's committed now.
Pick up 6 yards. Lee Woodall forces him out of bounds.
Once again, Bryant Young, the inside pressure has killed the Buffalo Bills week after week.
There is a flag on the play.
If it wasn't DeMarco Farr last time they played the Rams, now it's Bryant Young doing the honors.
Holding. Offense, number 72, 10-yard penalty. Repeat the down. First
Joe
down.
Panos, his second penalty on this drive. Panos picked up in the offseason as a free agent from Philadelphia.
This is where they've had their problems, that center guard combination. Right there, you can see Joe Panos trying to just grab anything, grab cloth, slow down.
Sometimes Panos has a problem moving the feet, and then he gets turned, and then all that's left is the grab. He needs a windshield wiper. Got poked in the eye in a game last year against Arizona, and that's why he wears the shield. Rob Johnson has to take a timeout, the final timeout for the Bills in the first half, because they just weren't ready to go. Coming up on the Visa halftime report, JB, Terry, Howie, and Chris will have scores and highlights from around the league, and of course our Fox Sports ticker will have up to the second stats, all coming up on the Visa halftime report.
I would give anything to be a fly on the wall in the 49er locker room this halftime.
Think they're going to hear it a little bit?
I think some things will be said, if you know what I mean. And this is all, it's not like they've been outplayed per se. This is all about mistakes.
Yeah, they've beaten themselves, and that's something that you rarely associate with the San Francisco 49ers.
Yep. And then you got to give the Bills credit. They came out with a plan to assault them deep like we talked about in the open, and they did it, and it changed everything from that point on.
3 wideouts in the game for Buffalo. First down and 20. Johnson throws it outside. He's got Kevin Williams again. Williams working on the rookie McQuarters, a pickup of 10.
They need to get some urgency on the ball here. See Buffalo walking around a little bit. I think Johnson wasn't quite aware of what the situation is.
He's out of timeouts.
He's out of timeouts, and he's just kind of walking around.
Second down and 10. They'll run the draw from Thomas. Thomas with a little room. Wow. A move, and the flag comes out onto the field as Thomas picks up 6.
And they got a flag down.
Holding again on the Buffalo Bills. And Joe Panos is talking to Dick Antak, trying to make a case.
You know, sometimes it's a matter of when you're not good enough, your technique goes out the window, and that's the only way you can make up.
Holding. Offense, number 72. 10-yard foul. Repeat the down. Second down.
They're going to have to give Joe Panos some help working on Bryant Young. That's his 3rd flag on this drive.
And by all means, he's working on somebody that can definitely play football. I mean, right here, watch Young come off the ball. And see, Panos just says, I'm going to grab you from the start. He doesn't even give Bryant Young a chance to get going. I'm not going to give you a chance to beat me.
Yeah, it wasn't that big of a grab, but his hand went around the back side of the jersey.
And
when
you see that jersey pull, they're going to call it.
So it's 2nd and 20. Lonnie Johnson in motion. Rob Johnson to throw. They got the screen set up, but it's smelled out now. Rob Johnson will scramble. Oh, a little head hunting. Coming up looking for him was Lance Schulters. Schulters almost took Rob Johnson's head off.
Yeah, and he's getting an earful from Jerry Ostrowski. Anytime you go to the quarterback's head like that, they're going to call you.
Well, there is a flag down.
And once
Johnson
again,
went into the slide.
Once again, that's a big penalty.
Personal foul. Unnecessary roughness defense, number 30. 15-yard penalty. First down.
So what you've done is you've gone from the Bills being out of any kind of field position and stretched to make a first down to now they're in great field position, and that is a very valid call.
Yeah, went for the head.
And he got the head. In today's age, maybe when we played, Ray, it was different.
Yeah,
but
that was commonplace when we played. They applauded that.
But nowadays, if you go anywhere near the quarterback's knees or head, they will pull the flag out.
So it'll be a first down and 10 from the 49 or 41-yard line. Johnson will throw again, and now the flag comes out again. And it'll be illegal procedure against Buffalo. Ping pong penalties. Jerry Ostrowski.
Offense, number 60, 5 yards, still first down.
Well, it wasn't Panos that time.
See, those are things, that's when Buffalo goes back and shows you, what they're having trouble with and why they come into this game 0-3. In spite of how well things have gone, they still continue to shoot themselves in the foot in crucial situations.
1st and 15. Johnson, the blitz facing him. He'll throw it a little wide, intended for Eric Moles.
They can't pick up the heat inside when Bryant Young and Junior Bryant start to come. Even when they keep in the back, even when they have the tight end motion, they can't pick it up. And they have worked on trying to get the ball out of Rob Johnson's hands as fast as possible. But still, 97 is just too dominant inside.
Bryant Young and Junior Bryant played together at Notre Dame. Johnson on 2nd and 15. Throws it outside. He's got Clint Early. A reception and a gain of 10. Coverage from Antonio Langham.
When you think about it, the Bills have had all their success throwing the ball on the outside corners, especially on Antonio Langham. They got the deep one early on Walker, but Langham has been the guy they picked on since.
Clock down to 35 seconds and counting. Johnson looking for the end zone, tries to throw it up for Eric Moles. there'll be a penalty on this one. Antonio Langham on the coverage.
Pass interference.
See, the problem is that Langham never can find the ball here. And I tell you, that's a funny call because he never actually turns around. You see the bump there.
Looks like
he grabs a little right there. He's got the hands. He's grabbing him and not looking back at the ball. If he's turned and looked back at the ball, they're not going to call that. But the officials made it clear this year they are going to be much more stringent. And look at those penalty yards. That's unheard of for the 49ers.
The 49ers have 104 total yards. They have 112 penalty yards. They're -6 on the day. Johnson will throw 1st and 10. He's got it. It's complete outside. It's Quinn Early again, working on Antonio Langham.
If I'm John Marshall, the defensive coordinator, I'm going to either change up the coverage or get Antonio Langham some help. And this is one reason why they can't wait for Marquez Pope to get healthy. Everyone at first thought that Darnell Walker would be the liability. Well, it's turned out that Langham has been the liability.
And they're getting it out of bounds, stopping the clock because Buffalo has no timeouts left. And they are 2nd and short at the 7-yard line. Johnson throws it outside. Almost hooks up with Eric Moulds. Good coverage from Darnell Walker. Johnson had to throw it outside and low.
And really, when you're behind like this, you have no other choice but to go man-to-man on the outside corners because you got to get pressure inside. They need to blitz. You saw Tim McDonald in there starting to do some things. That's the only way they can make something happen here. And this has been a long 2 minutes, too. Oh, boy.
3rd down and less than 1.
There's a blitz.
The flag is out. Johnson throws into the end zone. He cannot complete it to Quinn Early.
Antonio Langham is having one of those days.
I think you've got 2 different penalties that are going to come up on this one, an early flag and a late flag. We've got offsides and pass interference. They'll take the pass interference. Antonio Langham, his 2nd infraction in this drive.
There's Langham right there, just man-to-man coverage. He's got him, no help. He panics a little bit. He takes away the end, but then he grabs the waist. Really no need for it. But that'll happen to you out there at that corner position. What did Chris Dolman say about playing against a guy who doesn't have help? Even though he's a defensive end, he said,
says when you're alone out there, it can get pretty lonely.
When you're alone out there, it can get lonely. And right about now, it's pretty lonely, I'd imagine, for Antonio Langham.
No timeouts for Buffalo. 17 seconds, 1st and goal on the 1-yard line. Johnson with plenty of time. The pressure comes. He'll throw it away. Flag, a late hit on Rob Johnson. Roy Barker in there, and they're going to call a penalty on this.
That guy ought to work on his somersaults and learn to get his chest up. He almost had it, but his technique was wrong.
We have to apologize. We have some technical difficulties with our referee Dick Hantak's microphone.
You saw Joe Pendry there, the offensive coordinator, telling Rob Johnson what he wants done on this play. Now, if they decide to throw it, I have to believe that he's told Rob, listen, we almost have sure points down here in terms of a field goal. If you don't see what you want for a throw that thing back into the stands. But they've got big people in. Gash at fullback, Antoine Smith at running back.
And 3 tight ends, Young, Remersma, and Johnson. They called intentional grounding on Rob Johnson. They also called roughing the passer, so it was offsetting penalties. It'll be 1st down and goal from the 1 for the Bills again. And it'll be play action. Looking for Remersma, is broken up. And another flag comes out. We can't go a play without a penalty.
And they're going to bring the field goal unit on now, but you're right. I don't know if I've ever seen one like this. This many penalties.
Pass interference again on the San Francisco 49ers. That's 4 pass interference penalties in this drive. I know Joe Panos had 3 penalties on this drive, and it comes down to 6 seconds left. Buffalo not willing to chance it again. They'll bring on Steve Christie for a 19-yard field goal.
They don't like the fact that the ball hit the defender in the back of the helmet. Go for the field goal.
It's up, and it is good. And Buffalo goes out 20-0 with 3 seconds left in the first half. Let's take another look at that pass interference play. The Bills in a 3 tight end formation trying to leak Reamersma out.
And Reamersma gotten in the back of the end zone. Jeff Posey, who's a defensive end, has the coverage on the play. But yet another pass interference penalty, and I got to believe Steve Mariucci about to pull that vest over his head and go completely nuts with what he's seen in this first half. And we talked about, Ray, this being a new situation for the 49ers. The last time they played here, correct me if I'm wrong, was 83.
Yes.
That's a long time ago. In fact, they don't really see each other that much.
They played 6 times in their history.
And every time the 49ers have played the Bills, it's been a tough one for the 49ers. They had the shootout one year out there in San Francisco. The Bills won. And then the last time they played 95, Woodall had the big fumble return for the touchdown that really made the difference in the game. And here, things continue to roll the same. The Bills jumping out to this huge lead. 49ers with a ton of penalties.
In that last drive, 10 plays, a total of 8 penalties. Nonetheless, the Bills come up with a field goal, stretch their lead to 20-0. Steve Christie will hit this one away. Chuck Levy standing deep. Christie just will ground it. The return by Chad Fan. That's the end of the first half with a score. The Buffalo Bills 20, San Francisco 0. Fox NFL Sunday will continue. James Brown, Terry Bradshaw, Howie Long, and Chris Collinsworth will be along for the Visa halftime report after these messages.
Scandal rocks up 29. WUTV Buffalo.
Welcome to the Visa Halftime Report. Visa, the preferred card of the NFL. It's everywhere you want to be.
Back here for the Visa Halftime along with Chris, Howie, and Terry. I'm James Brown. Howie Long mentioned complacency will be the only thing to stop San Francisco, along with 3 turnovers and 12 penalties, trailing Buffalo 12-20-0.
There you go, Jason Garrett on your left. On your right, young Trent Green for the Redskins. Pump fake. Corner comes up. Safety can't get over. Little play action down the sideline. Leslie Shepard hurt last year against the Cowboys. Not this time. 40-yard touchdown pass. Skins up by 7. Now back. Green again. This time he has to throw the ball high because of pressure. There's Deion Sanders. Makes the interception. Returns 22 yards. Leads to an Emmitt Smith touchdown. Dallas up by 3, 10-7. Garrett back. Post route. Hey! Where's the free safety? I don't know. It's too late. Cowboys all over the Skins. First half, 17-10.
Mark Carrier of Detroit sitting out this one. That's right behind the glass in the middle there. 1-game suspension.
3rd down and 2. You always play tight coverage, but with 98 yards to go, I don't think so. Why not? Well, if you play man coverage and you blitz, where's the free safety? He's out of the middle. Corner gets beat. That's Terry Cousins in for the injured starter. Tom Carter, 98-yard touchdown pass. There you are, Johnny Morton. Lions looking good. Kramer back. Over the middle. Excellent throw and catch this time. You got it, Marcus Robinson. What was the MVP of the World League? All notch steady. Notch? Yeah, you bet. 10 all.
Curtis Enos left the game with a hamstring. Chris Chandler looking for his team to be productive in the first half. He watches him do it.
It takes young legs, and you got to be young like this young rookie out of Iowa. now with Tim Dwight. He takes his kickoff return, the opening kickoff. How far, Howie?
93.
There you go. You can read. That's good. Atlanta up by 7. Chandler out of the backfield. A lot of pressure. Throws across the field. Excellent throw. Excellent route. Nobody there. Tony Martin, you got it. 14-0 Atlanta. Now, Chandler out of the shotgun. This play would be illegal if he were under the center. Quarterback cannot catch a pass. He can from the shotgun position. Chandler, the guy with the headaches. The guy gets knocked out. Excellent catch. Falcons 17-3 over the visiting Carolina Panthers.
Full of facts. Less than 100 combined yards passed.
Study, JB.
In this one, Jets on top 10-3. You obviously have studied. New England had how many turnovers in the first 3 games?
A bunch.
None. 3 in the first half. They're holding to a 3-point lead right now. Got to study, Terry. Without a doubt. Colts holding to an 11-6 lead over there. Let's talk San Francisco and the Giants. You mentioned, Howie, that complacency would be the only thing to stop San Francisco. Penalties hurting them.
Yeah, you know, the penalties have hurt them. A Buffalo team that's fired up, and as Chris, we were talking in the first half, that's a tough place to play. And the one thing you don't do is you don't challenge a great player. And Bob McKittrick made some disparaging remarks about Bruce Smith this week. And obviously, Bruce Smith they've awoken the sleeping giant. And that's a problem.
You never did like Bob, did you?
I like Bob.
A couple of those leg whips.
Talk about him off camera every week.
Does he really? Every week?
Off camera, he does.
You know, the San Francisco 49ers, though, if they have a weakness, it's in the secondary. And we saw Buffalo come out right off the bat. Boom, 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 throwing it down the field, catching those deep balls. That's what set the tone for the whole ball game.
Yeah, you're not going to stay on a high all year long. Denver's not going to. Nobody's going. You're going to have a little collapse right now.
They're going to get their 500 yards this week?
I don't think they're going to get it today. But hey, there's the second half, and if anybody can get it, the 49ers can get it.
You are truly amazing. What was the sound effect you just did there? Unbelievable. San Francisco.
The more you can contribute to a telecast.
I locker with him here. Visual. I've heard that sound quite a bit.
Yeah. San Francisco is potent, capable of coming back indeed. All right, folks, the Visa halftime will continue. Howie will talk to your face on camera, though, if he's upset with you. That he will. Visa halftime continues right after this.
Welcome back, my friends, to the show that never ends. We're so glad you could attend. Come inside, come inside.
Tension builds for Game 4 of the NL Division Series. Down 2 games to 1. It's do or die for Johnson and the Astros. But Leyritz and the Padres look to shoot them down and move on to the NLCS. Game 4 of the National League Division Series tonight on Fox.
Here in San Francisco and in cities across the nation, communities are facing a critical problem: children at risk.
Hi, I'm Ray Brown with the San Francisco 49ers.
Through
more times in the second half. To give your answer, simply log on to Fox Sports website at www.foxsports.com. I know all you net nudniks are looking forward to that. We shall return to Orchard Park for the start of the second half after these messages from your local Fox station.
You're watching Fox NFL Sunday.
Now you can get vision coverage, plus dental coverage, chiropractic care without a referral, and more. Encompass Select from Independent Health.
There was perhaps no one vote that affected the average New Yorker more than the vote taken this day in 1993. When Congress passed the biggest tax increase in American history by one vote. That vote, liberal Chuck Schumer. At that moment, Chuck Schumer showed us what he really believes in. Higher taxes, more spending, bigger government. Sadly, one vote did make a difference. Chuck Schumer, wrong on taxes, wrong on spending, wrong for us.
You have a telephone number, a credit card number, a fax number, a pager number, a checking account number. Isn't it about time you had a number for freedom? Jeep Cherokee. With rugged good looks, shift-on-the-fly four-wheel drive, and a 4-liter engine, it's the number you've been looking for. Now lease Cherokee with these features at no extra charge. Check one out at your Jeep dealer.
Presenting the Frasier's Choice Awards. 5 favorite episodes chosen by the stars of Frasier all week long. First up, are Roz's potential in-laws too nosy?
Anyone who knows you knows you're nosier.
Roz and the Schnoz.
This is Frasier's Choice Awards week, so watch or else.
Monday at 10:30 on Fox 29. Studio Arena Theater opens its $98.99 Great American Dream Season with John Guar's Wacky Wild and Wonderful, The House of Blue Leaves, opening September 6th through October 11th.
Now you can get dental coverage, plus vision coverage, chiropractic care without a referral, and more. Encompass Select from Independent Health.
Your home of the 1998 World Series, Fox 29.
Too slow now to shave fast, harder. Why can't you be perfect? Is that the best you got? You do that? Come on, Warren.
This is my shield against the heat.
This is my shield against the other team, the media, expectations, against the best and myself, against the opposition.
He'll never play in the NFL. He's too skinny. He's not like other quarterbacks. He'll never hold up. He'll never start. This is my shield. He's just an athlete against the noise.
The shield means you're for real.
Beautiful Niagara Falls, 30 miles north of here. The floodgates have opened for the Buffalo Bills, up 20-0 at halftime over the San Francisco 49ers. Ask the Pros is our new feature. Now for your Cyberzone segment. Ron, this week's question comes from Sam Loeb of Wasilla, Arkansas. He wants to know, will Steve Young retire if he gets another concussion?
Well, you know, nobody really knows that except Steve Young. And one thing you do know is that he has had some, and he's never wanted to come off the field and stop playing football. The guy loves the game, and he's the type of guy that you have to say, if you're a team doctor or a coach or maybe even a concerned parent, no, you're done, that's it, because he is not going to take himself out of the game and off the football field. And you have to admire that. The guy just loves the game.
He's a tough football player, but he's had a tough first half. Only one reception to each of his three top receivers, J.J. Stokes, Terrell Owens, and Jerry Rice. And then the halftime numbers tell a story as well.
I put a big circle around that penalty yardage there for the 49ers. I mean, that's almost unheard of. And then that coupled with the turnovers, that's killed them. It's almost impossible to rebound off that. And if anybody can rebound off it, the 49ers can. But think about the hole that they put themselves into. You know, they never got into that script. They were never able to get the tempo going. And they always say, if you can survive the first assault by the 49ers, you got a great chance to win the game. And that's what the Buffalo Bill coaches talked about, surviving that first assault. And they did it in a different kind of way, but they did it.
That they have. And you look at the wide receivers' numbers. One reception for each of these guys, and this is such a difference from the first three games for these 49ers.
Well, Steve has always preached that I want to get each guy a catch, but this is not what he had in mind.
He meant more than one. One to start, but more than one. We're set to start the second half. The 49ers will receive. They'll try to get something going on offense. Steve Christie kicks it deep. Actually kicks it short. And this is
a live
football.
That's a live football.
A pooch type kick, and it looks like there's a scramble for the ball, and they'll say the 49ers came up with it. Wow.
Boy, the 49ers just not being alert today.
Chuck Levy came up with it, looked like. It was Chuck Levy. Wow, that's you don't let a kickoff bounce around like that.
That is mental. Once this ball goes more than 10 yards, it is live. 49ers are acting up front like they don't understand that. I mean, that's just players not having their head in the game and realize they better wake up, and they got to wake up now.
Yeah.
Steve Young set to throw on first down. He'll throw it outside to his fullback. First time Mark Edwards has touched the football this afternoon. Brought down by Gabe Northern. Let's go down to the sidelines to Pam Oliver. Pam?
All right, first thing, Ray, Steve Mariucci said what his team has to do in the second half, quit the penalties, quit the turnovers, and, of course, score some points. Coming down the tunnel with the 49ers, they were not down whatsoever. Their heads were up. They were pumped up. They were giving each other a lot of high fives. This is a championship team, and I think we could see that today.
Thank you, Pam. The 49ers know they can score when they have to.
Screen.
Second down at 6. Young will throw this one away.
And they never got the screen developed.
There is a flag coming out late at near midfield. That seems to be a repetitive phrase this afternoon. Another flag on the field.
And that's a great comment there by Pam Oliver. This is a championship team. Championship teams don't panic. They know what the mistakes were. They get them corrected, and they come out and play.
The preliminary indication is that it will be against the 49ers.
But the thing is, today they haven't played championship football. And this is really the most
offensive pass interference. Offense. Number 82. 10-yard penalty. Repeat the down. Second down.
Irv Smith guilty of offensive pass interference.
The opening drive in the third quarter, especially if you're behind, is the most crucial drive because you've gone in, you've made the halftime adjustments. So now everybody expects things to work now. So if they don't work now you start to get guys that can possibly go in the tank.
2nd and 17. Another penalty on the Niners puts him in tough position. He'll throw it over the middle. Young connects with Terrell Owens for near first down yardage. Kurt Schultz on the coverage. Owens will have his 2nd catch of the day and a first down.
I got to tell you, that's the first 49er offensive play that I think is run on speed, on tempo, and had that snap to it. Just what? This is the slant. They've run this many, many times. The ball's there on time. The cornerback's there, makes the tackle, but just the way it was delivered and unfolded. That play was a 49er play.
Yeah, an 18-yarder, the longest reception of the day for the 49ers. They'll run Garrison Hurst up the middle and pick up 2 on first down. Ted Washington and Sean Price on the stop.
It's funny how the Bills coaching staff said that this seems like the kind of game that we need, being 0-3. And I said, what, are you crazy? Yeah. This is exactly what you don't need. And they said, nope, because we know that if this team can't get up for the 49ers, they won't be able to get up for anybody. We will find out what we have and what we're made of.
It's not over, though. Buffalo led by 18 in the first or second half last week, or their last game against St. Louis, and lost that by a point.
It's far from over.
Jamie Brown looks like he moved early.
Offense, 72. 5-yard penalty.
That's the second time
Still
Bruce
second down.
Smith has worried Mr. Brown into a penalty, a false start.
Jamie Brown right there. Look at just rocking back on his heels, and it's really unfair to a guy to put him out there. You know, he hasn't played in a live game, a real game, since last year. He didn't get a preseason, been hurt the whole time, had the controversy with missing the games and suspension and all that.
2nd long, Young with pressure. Marcellus Wiley misses him. Another flag, and he'll hook up with Irv Smith before Manny Martin can bring him down. But Bruce Smith is pointing at the 49ers, and it is holding against the Niners. Unbelievable.
That's the only way to describe it.
12 penalties in the first half.
Holding. Offense. Number 67. 10-yard penalty.
3 now in the second half. Chris Dahlman, the center, the guilty party.
Well, I got to believe they're going to break that record.
Yeah, the way it's been going.
Watch inside, Dahlman, the center. He's working on Price.
Got the arm around the back.
Yeah, I've seen that one go either way. Boy, that's a just to let the 49er faithful know that's a chintzy one there.
Yeah, the referees have got the flags warmed up, and Bob McKittrick, the offensive line coach,
I bet he
not too happy.
He probably warmed up some backside in that locker room.
John Price chasing down Garrison Hurst. Hurst forced out of bounds. Pickup of 2.
And the thing that's funny is that the 49ers screen hasn't worked, and the reason it hasn't worked so far is because they haven't been able to set up anything else. The screen comes off of setting up certain run plays, which come off of setting up certain pass plays. Yeah, everything feeds up everything. So if you don't set one thing up, which they were never able to do, then the other things aren't going to work.
Yeah, the 49er offense is predicated on one thing setting up another.
Absolutely.
And they haven't been able to set up anything, and now it's 3rd and 20. Bruce Smith with pressure, but this sack is going to come from Marcellus Wiley, his first NFL career sack. And sometimes you look at Wiley and Smith, and they look a lot alike.
They look a lot alike. Yeah. That's what scares you about playing the 0-3 team, because you know that sooner or later they're going to have the breakout. Now Wiley's on the opposite side of Bruce Smith, and they look a lot alike coming up the field. He works on Deese and just beats him inside. Derek Deese just gave up the funk inside.
Reggie Roby hits a line drive. This will be Kevin Williams at his 38. Williams gets outside, and there is another penalty flag on the football field. A 46-yard punt, an 8-yard return for Kevin Williams.
Yeah, he danced a little bit too much and got blasted.
I tell you, the officials are going to have to ice down their arms after this game.
Somebody's going to tear a rotator cuff.
And it's against the Buffalo Bills, a holding call.
Illegal block during the return, number 85. 10-yard penalty, first down.
An illegal block from Jay Reimers will back the Bills up. They have a 20-0 lead.
All right, Captain.
Joy.
It's heavenly. It's wonderful.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by First Union, your guide to the financial world.
Orchard Park, New York. Ray Bentley alongside Ron Pitts. The Buffalo Bills have their first possession of the second half. They have a 20-0 lead. They'll start 1st and 10 from the 34-yard line. Johnson will hand off to Antoine Smith. Smith takes it outside, and he'll pick up 6 yards before he's forced out of bounds by Lee Woodall. 49ers are trying to get things settled with the offensive line. Offensive line coach Bob McKittrick talking with Steve Mariucci.
Yeah, and it's surprising to come out, and I talked about that first series in the third quarter being important, and for them to have the penalties and then give up the sacks like that, it almost looks like the 49ers have lost a little bit of the composure.
It's like that halftime speech didn't work. I mean, you get 12 penalties in the first half. You come out in your first series, 3 more.
And you know, the game is far from over, especially the way the Bills have played, but that is not typical 49er.
2nd and 5, Johnson on play action. Hooks up with Quinn Early, and that's been there all day long. It'll be a first down for Buffalo. Pickup of 9 yards. Lee Woodall forces Early out of bounds.
And you got to remember, Quinn Early, he's taken the place of Andre Reed. Now, Quinn Early is no slouch. He came up here as a free agent a couple years ago from the Saints, signed a huge contract.
Down the field to the tight end.
There's something about Batch, and there's something about the Bears in third quarter.
Jason Hanson for the point after. And it's good. So the Detroit Lions jump into the lead. 17-10, 6:56 remaining in the third quarter.
Well, let's not do that. Let's sit here and enjoy the football game. It's
I wanted to stay here anyway
in Buffalo, and they didn't want us, I guess. That's all right. We still like each other.
We got kicked out of here, so
that's right.
What's the deal? What's the difference?
We're used to that kind of treatment. 2nd down, 7 yards. We will try that again. Sam Gadd, actually Antoine Smith, fights his way up the middle. Post the first down yardage. We'll try it again. JB in Los Angeles in the Fox Network Center for an NFL update.
Ray and Ron, opening drive of the second half by the Cowboys culminates with a 6-yard TD run first by Chris Warren as a Cowboy. On top of the Skins, 24-10. Ray Bentley, Ron Pitts.
Thank you, JB.
The Bills are right now, you knew this was going to happen going into that serious, slow ball control mode. You're up 20-0.
Time to eat some clocks.
It's time to eat up the clock.
3rd down and 1. They'll hand it to Antoine Smith, but penetration stops him before he can get started. And Bryant Young shooting through.
Joe Panos just got completely pin-rolled into the backfield. I mean, this is a quick lesson on how to take out your own play. Watch here. Joe Panos is going to just get blown away. Actually, the center Dusty Ziegler got blown into Panos.
That'll force the Bills to punt it away. Chris Moore set to hit it deep to R.W. McQuarters. McQuarters at the 16. He'll fight his way up to the 29-yard line. Brought down by Marlo Perry, but there is another penalty flag on the play. A 30-yard kick.
Anthony Peterson and Mark Pike got a little twisted up down there.
And they're going to call holding on the 49ers.
Oh, boy.
16 penalties, a team record. Not the kind of team record you want to set. And they've been on a record-setting pace.
Holding, offense, number 50, 10-yard penalty, first down.
That'll be on Anthony Peterson, the linebacker. They have been setting records offensively, but the penalty record, that's the least thing that these 49ers expected. But they will have the football, and they'll be down 20-0 when we return.
Use of our audience, any other use of this telecast, or of any pictures, descriptions, or accounts of the game without the NFL's consent is prohibited.
Bruce Smith staring into the 49ers huddle in San Francisco on the 19-yard line, their second possession of the second half. Come out with 3 wide receivers, Buffalo in their dime defense. Wow, Young to throw. A timing route outside, he connects with Jerry Rice. His second reception on the day. Thomas Smith with the coverage.
49ers have to go, and they have to go as of last series. And if you're going to go, you got to get number 80 involved in the game. Take what they give you. Thomas Smith is going to play 7 yards off, then run the out.
First down for the 49ers.
This is crucial time for the 49ers if they want to win this game.
First down and 10. Niners staying with 3 wide. Young to throw. Dumps it over the middle. It'll be incomplete, and Young took a shot from Bruce Smith, and there is another flag on the play.
Looked like Sam Cowart.
Interference. Defense, number 56. First down.
Now, anytime you come over the top of a receiver, you're going to get called for interference, and that's exactly what Cowart did. And I said a wow on that play. Looks like Bruce Smith, he got off the ball and gave Steve Young a shot. And you notice they're working inside.
Right.
Jamie Brown misses him. Not too bad. He helped him up. Yeah. He's got a lot of respect for Steve.
That he does. First down and 10 for the 49ers after the penalty. Young changing the signals. The crowd gets into it. They throw it outside for Garrison Hurst.
What happened there?
Across the football. It looks like Ken Irvin came up with it. They're going to call it incomplete. So today's game summary, the Bills 20-0 lead, but the reason is the mistakes by the 49ers. The 3 turnovers led to 14 of the Bills' points, the 16 penalties and counting, a club record.
But look at Rob Johnson, 13 of 18. I mean, that is his best performance so far. That's almost flawless.
Playing a nice football game. Second down and 10. Young will throw it again, looking over the middle, and he has got Terrell Owens. Owens up in the Bills' territory to the 35-yard line, working on Ken Irvin, a pickup of 27.
If the Bills are going to double team Jerry Rice, then they're going to have to go to another guy, and that's Terrell Owens. But watch the double team here. Ray Brown just got enough of a little stiff arm to help out Jamie Brown. Okay, and once again, if you double Jerry, then somebody else has got to have the man-on-man. And they've been able to work Terrell Owens inside. That's the second time he's been able to catch that drag route across the middle of the field toward the post.
First down and 10 from the Bills' 36. Young on play action, underthrows Mark Edwards, and Young knocked down again by Bruce Smith.
You know, maybe the media in Buffalo, who was really on Bruce Smith's case, because they said he was a little lazy and should have played that first game against San Diego from that knee surgery. Maybe they'll get off him because he's doing a pretty darn good job. And I know he's working against a guy who hadn't played in a while. But they know they have to give Jamie Brown help, and they still can't get it done.
And Smith is working the inside. Now, Brown's been told all week long he's going to go upfield outside around you. And now Bruce is mixing it up.
He's worked inside. And that confuses Ray Brown. Now, does Ray Brown have to help out?
Second down and 10. Chant Fan in motion for Steve Young. Young throwing down the middle for his tight end. Can't connect with an open Irv Smith. And again, Bruce Smith is laying on top of Steve Young.
Look at the respect these two guys got for each other. Steve is saying, hey, man, how many times are you going to hit me today?
And Bruce just pats him on the head.
And what it does is well, see, he works inside again on Jamie. And Jamie's thinking outside all the way. But what that does is it makes Steve pull the trigger a hair early and maybe not line up the crosshairs on the throw. And that's why it's a little bit overthrown, a little bit to the outside.
Smith yet to get a sack, but he has been he's been pressuring Steve Young all day long. 3rd down and 10. Big play for the 49ers. And they move. They go early, and it's another penalty. And it looks to be Gary Brown. Or I'm sorry, Ray Brown. There's Ray Brown. There's Jamie Brown. They got Gary Brown. They got a lot of Brown offensive linemen.
Offense, number 65.
And this would be Ray Brown.
That's where I think the 49ers have lost their composure a bit in this game. You don't see them do that, but this is a unique situation. You get shelled out in the first half and have to come back. And when you're veterans, I mean, you're guys that have been stalwarts like Ray Brown here, start to move and do things like that.
Yes.
You know that things are shook up on the 49ers sideline.
Having a bit of a brownout. 3rd down and 15. 3 wide receivers. Steve Young. Back to throw. And he's hit by Bruce Smith, and the ball comes out. This will be picked up by Marcellus Wiley. Wiley cutting back, and he'll lay it down at the 45-yard line. Bruce Smith forces the fumble. Marcellus Wiley picks it up.
Yeah, they can say what they want to about Bruce being old and over the hill and maybe should have been out of here and all this and all that. But you ask Steve Young right now what he is. And what he is a Pro Bowl player that's making an impact, that's affecting this game.
Brown, a rancher's wife, makes beeswax hand cream in Lusk, Wyoming.
The Cowboys love my hand cream. About cooking, or
She runs her entire business with Microsoft Windows on a home PC.
You don't have to be in the middle of a city when you have